Hey, what up everybody, I'm Cynical, and this is Dark Souls Remastered on PS4. And today we are on part 17. I think I could check. Oh yeah, part 17 of our Dark Souls Remastered playthrough in ANOR Londo. Just finished the Painted World of Ariamis, where we did battle with Priscilla. Crossbreed. I say crossbead every time. I don't know why. Crossbreed. Priscilla. Was a good fight. I thought we were gonna cheese her, and then it didn't happen, so we actually had a fight with her, so it was pretty good. And then, what else? In that area, which you had to get the peculiar doll to go to this area, so you had to have gone back to the asylum where the game started. So you had to ride the crow back, act like you're an egg in the nest at Firelink Shrine, way up above Firelink Shrine. And then the crow will take you back to the asylum, where you meet another asylum demon or stray demon, whatever one it is. I always get them mixed up. I think it's the stray demon when you go back, the asylum demon when you start in the beginning of the game. And you get the rusted iron ring, the peculiar doll. You get to fight a bunch of black knights and get some chunks, and you get a titanite slab. Plus, you get to kill Oscar and get the crest shield and all that business. So, good to go back there before you come here. That way you can go into the painted world and get pyromancies. What else is in the painted world? The black set, Velka's rapier. Trying to think, a miracle or two. You can get souvenirs of reprisal there, the dried finger, the red sign soapstone. There's a bunch of stuff there. It's just none of it's like super duper important, but it's a lot of good stuff. If you go there, it's worth it. And you can also kill crossbreed Priscilla and get her soul and get the life hunt scythe if you want. Or you don't even have to kill her. You can jump off and still complete the area without killing her. Some people like her, think she's a waifu, or however you say it. They make weird art online about her. Half dragon, half woman. So yeah, you can just jump off. It's like the only boss in the game where well, not the only one. I guess you could say Gwendolyn. It's kind of the same, but you can't like proceed in past him. You either fight him or you don't. Either join his covenant or you don't, type stuff. With Priscilla, you can pass by her and finish the area without fighting her. And I thought you could make these guys fall off the edge here if you hit them with a bow and arrow. That's why I was trying to do this. But yeah, that's what happened last time. So this time, we had all kinds of recording trouble last time as well. And I had recording trouble in my last Gems of War video. I need to shore that up there. So in part 16 of this, we lost a bunch of video and audio. I was doing live commentary. This is post commentary right now, just to make it easier and make sure I don't screw it up. But it was live commentary last time. I lost a huge chunk of video, so I had to retrace my steps. That's like your worst nightmare when you're doing a playthrough of a game, like part by part by part. If you lose a part, you can't redo that. Unless you're playing it, unless you're playing two separate games alongside of each other, and you can restart that area because the items aren't going to be back. Some enemies don't respawn. Some things you can't undo. You can't reopen locked doors. You can't re-kill invaders that only invade once. You can't re-pick up items. You can go back and say, this is where this item was. This is where this guy invaded. This is the key I used to open this door. You can do all that, which I had to do, but that's not as good as like it happening in real time and them getting to see what happened, like getting to see King Jeremiah. Now you guys will never get to see that guy. You have to go look it up online or whatever. But hopefully that doesn't happen again, ever again, because I hate that so much. It happened on Dark Souls 2 Scholar of the First Sin, I think my Champions Covenant playthrough, which makes the game like 100% harder by being in that covenant. And I fought a boss, I think, and I lost the footage of like one of the bosses, and I was so mad because it's really hard on Champions Covenant. It's like playing it on like New Game 4 or something, but you know, starting, or like New Game Plus, but starting with low stats. So really annoying. So I had that trouble, and then last time on Gems of War, I lost a bunch of audio, like a couple minutes or two, like 3 or 4 minutes of audio, while I was doing like this type of thing. I was trying to edit out like a cough, and just 1 second of audio, and I figured out how to do it, and then I just pushed the wrong button, and I erased 3 minutes of audio, so freaking crazy. And if anybody from the Gems of War community is watching right now, I'm gonna have one of the a video later today, so hang in there. Figured I'd say that before the 6-minute mark. That seems to be when everybody drops off of every video, even if it is Gems of War. And like, share, subscribe, please. That would be great. So here we are in ANOR Londo, back out of the painting, and we are heading towards Ornstein and Smo boss fight, the hardest boss fight in the game, at least in the vanilla game. I don't know about the DLC, because I've never done the DLC. So this used to be the hardest boss fight in the game, depending on what you're doing. If you're just doing a normal playthrough, then yeah, this is definitely the hardest boss fight in the game. There's 2 bosses, and they're not like watered down. They don't water down either one of them. They're both pretty tough, consistent with what you've been facing, but there's 2 of them. And then when you kill one, the other one powers up and like absorbs the soul of the other one and becomes a giant version of itself. So it's like 3 boss fights in one, and you got 2 bosses coming at you. One's really fast and one's really powerful. So if you got your eye on the fast one, the powerful one can kill you in 1 hit. And if you got your eye on the powerful one, then the fast one can come out of nowhere and nail you without you seeing it. And then you're laying on the ground getting pounded into the ground by the big guy. So pretty difficult boss fight. I would say that, well, no. I was going to say on my SL1 run that the 4 Kings was a little bit harder for me, but I don't know if that's true or not. It was about the same. I had really a lot of trouble with the 4 Kings, but Ornstein and Smo was just as hard. It was just like I could feel like I knew that Ornstein and Smo was beatable when I was doing it on my SL1, which means you don't level at all. You fight everything at level 1. You never level up. That's what SL1 is. Soul level 1. You never level anything. You pretty much use pyromancy the whole time because you can upgrade your glove. But yeah, when I was fighting them, I felt like I could do it. But when I was fighting the 4 Kings, I felt like this is impossible. I'm never going to be able to do this. So they're both about the same difficulty level, but one I felt like I could eventually get, and the other one I was not sure I was going to get it, because it was the way the fight worked. Ornstein and Smo, I could chip them down, I could figure it out, I could dodge, I can get out of the way, I can run away, I can, you know, hit them here and there, and figure it out. I would get so far into the battle and feel like I could still make it to the end. And then in the 4 Kings fight, I felt like, man, this is like on a timer. If I don't do it in a certain amount of time, then I'm screwed. And I wasn't able to put out enough damage fast enough to get that happening. Because the longer that it takes you to kill the Kings, more Kings come. So if you don't kill the first King within a certain amount of time, a second one comes. If you don't kill that second one in a certain amount of time, the third one comes. If you don't kill the third one in a certain amount of time, a 4th one comes. So it's like a, can you put out enough damage in enough time to survive that? And it felt like I wasn't going to be able to do it. So that's why I kind of not sure which one I think is harder between the 2 for an SL1 run. For a normal run, yeah, you can destroy the 4 Kings. But when you have no stats and your pyromancy doesn't seem to be doing enough to get rid of them fast enough, that's when it's crazy, and you gotta dodge every single thing, and they're hard to dodge. Usually people go in there with like Iron Flesh or just a lot of damage real fast to get rid of them. But better start talking about this particular part. We are at the, used to be one of the hardest parts in the game, the Dragonslayer archers. there's two of them, and you have to run up a thin walkway while they're firing Dragonslayer arrows at you. And they're super accurate, and the Dragonslayer arrows knock you back. So if they hit you, they knock you off this walkway and you die automatically. It's like a one hit, like that. See that? So you see how that knocked me back? If you get hit while you're right here, you're going to get knocked off. And especially once you go around this little pillar and you head up the second part of the walkway, that's where they really can get you. Like, first of all, there's two of them shooting at you. Second of all, if it hits you, it knocks you off. And they're pretty accurate. And then once you get up there, the walkway's super thin as well up there. So if you can't parry him, you're going to have a lot of trouble. And then the other one's going to be shooting you from behind while you're trying to fight. If you try to fight one, the other one's going to shoot you in the back. So it's super hard, unless you poison them like I'm doing, or you can parry. You're really good at parrying, which I could have done that, but I just want to show this way. And if we go back a couple minutes, or a minute or so, you saw me shooting from really far away with the poison arrows, and it still poisoned them. It wasn't doing any damage, so you know that it's too far away. If you shoot something and it does no damage, that means they're too far away. But with poison arrows, you can still get them to be poisoned, even if it's too far away. As long as you're hitting them with the arrows, they still will build up their meter, and then they can take damage. So you can be so far away that they can't hit you, and you can't hit them, but you can still build up the poison meter, and you can still kill them. So that's what happens here. And this is the safest way to kill them. Because any other way, you're putting yourself at risk of falling to your death in one hit. But there goes one. I know it's not super exciting to watch a number tick up, but that's the safest way to do it. Otherwise, we would lose like 5 minutes running back here, which no one wants to see that either. So it's a choice between the two. Do you want to look at a ticking number and stand here and watch them die, which isn't super exciting, or do you want to see me die and then have to run all the way back and redo stuff, which isn't super exciting? So this is the way we can progress in the game and get ahead a little faster. Yes, I could have ran up there like a barbarian and tried to parry them, but then I could have died there too. This is the safest way to do it without any chance of dying, really. And then you're just careful up here because you don't want to fall. There's an item over here, don't forget to get it. It's just a hard soul, but it's a pretty good one. Soul of a hero. I think those are like 8k or up. Pretty good. And we have a lot of souls right now, so we definitely don't want to be falling off this building or these rafters or whatever they're called. And this guy dropped something nice. I wish it was something good like the Silver Knight Shield, but we got Dragonslayer arrow. I've never used the Dragonslayer bow for any playthrough. I don't think I've ever even... Well, I've probably equipped it just to see what it's like. It seems pretty cool, but how could you even do a playthrough with that thing? Like, how could you even get enough Dragonslayer arrows? That thing's like... They're super big. It's hard to use. That would be cool. I'd like to see somebody try to do that. Like, you beat the game with Dragonslayer bow. That'd be really hard. Might be cool though, like killing a boss with the Dragonslayer bow. Look, our buddy's here. Look at this. There's Solaire. I thought we were not going to see him here because he died in the Gaping Dragon boss fight.
There you are. You've been quiet these days. Smooth summoning out there. Anytime you see my brilliantly shining signature, do not hesitate to call upon me. You've left me with quite an impression. I would relish a chance to assist you.
That's cool. I'm glad he's here.
You really are fond of chatting with me, aren't you? If I didn't know better, I'd think you had feelings for me. Oh no, dear me. Pretend you didn't hear that.
People think that's funny, like controversial there.
You really are fond of chatting with me, aren't you? If I didn't know better. Oh no.
He thinks we have feelings for him. It's funny. So bonfire, really important bonfire right here, because this one you might be seeing a bunch. So you might want to go ahead and kindle this one up, because you might be seeing this one a bunch. Well, it depends. You could be seeing the other one, but depends. Some people use a shortcut here. There's a shortcut on the stairs that you can use to get straight to the boss fight. Or you can go through the whole building, which I like to go through the whole building because their Silver Knights are awesome. There's some good stuff in here. I have used the shortcut before, especially like on my challenge runs, and so I'm not opposed to it. But and it's pretty easy shortcut. But yeah, we might use it later. Like if we get to the boss fight and then we die, I'll definitely use the shortcut to get back to it. Maybe. It depends, because you can come in through the front door. Once you get to a certain part of the level and you hit a switch, it opens up those big front doors, and then you can run up from Gwendolyn's boss bonfire. And I don't know if that's faster, or I bet you from here is faster if you use the shortcut. So that's why you'll probably see this bonfire a lot, because this is the hardest boss fight in the game. You're probably going to die at least once or twice. If it's your first time playing the game, you're definitely going to die. There's no way you're going to beat it on your first try, ever. Unless you're just leveled to the teeth with so much health that you can... I don't know. Probably not even then. Repairing equipment might change my magic that I have attuned. That fire surge really let me down in the Priscilla boss fight. Didn't even hit her for whatever reason. I'm thinking combustion will have more uses. Like with the fire surge, you don't even know like how much you're using at a time, really. Like each puff of flame takes away like 10 out of 80. So it's hard to tell. If you hold in the button, you can use all 80 at once, but you gotta have a guy just stand there looking at you. Like, when's that ever gonna happen?
You really are fond of...
So, that's all he says here. Glad to see he's here, because when he died in the Gaping Dragon boss fight, I thought that was the end of it. But I think we're okay, as long as he doesn't die again in another boss fight. And I don't even know if that's true or not, so don't hold me to that. But I know you can fail his quest line just by not talking to him. Like if I didn't talk to him there, he wouldn't be at the next spot. If he dies too many times, I think, like too early in boss fights, he won't be at the next spot. It's a really hard quest line to completely finish. Like, I've only done it. I've never done it, literally. I don't think I've ever had him... No, I have. I've seen him at the Gwen boss fight, but I didn't use him. I feel I like didn't have I wasn't human or something. I can't remember. I know I've seen his sign at the end of the game, like one time, literally. It's so hard to get his sign to come, like to be available right before the last boss. You have to do everything right. I think the part where most people screw up is the sunlight maggot. You have to like kill it before it infects him, and it's hard to figure out when that is, because if it infects him, then he goes crazy and he becomes hollow, and then he won't help you in the last boss fight. But he'll also be there for the centipede boss fight, pretty sure, or directly after. I can't remember where else he helps you. You gotta do something with the sunlight maggot. He's supposed to be sitting at the bonfire after the centipede. And then he's supposed to be at the last boss. And I can't remember. There's like a step in between this and the sunlight maggot, but I can't remember. And then you got Siegmeyer. His is not as hard, but you got to do specific things to get him to the end of his as well, which isn't as happy of a story, but it's a really good story. Like, you have to free his daughter in the Duke Archives. You have to let him help you with certain fights in the main like game. It's not even in a boss fight. You have to let him help you here, or you have to talk with him here. I don't think you have to let him help you, but he would prefer if you did. Like he says, hold on, let's come up with a plan. I've been sitting here a while thinking about it, and you're like, whatever, dude, I'm gonna go ahead and get through this room. And then he's like, hey, next time, wait up, bro. Like, we're trying to come up with a plan. Don't be so hasty. And that's like a warning for the next time. If you go ahead and kill everything, he like gets ashamed of himself for not helping and kills himself or something, or turns hollow. But this is a secret area right here. I should probably be talking about that. A mimic. Once again, you can tell if the chain is straight, then I forget the rhyme. There was like a perfect rhyme for it. If the chain is straight, a mimic will 8. I don't know. Havel's Great Shield. Great Shield of the legendary Havel the Rock, cut straight from a great slab of stone. This great shield is imbued with the magic of Havel, provides strong defense, and is incredibly heavy. A true divine heirloom on par with the Dragon Tooth. It's a really big shield. It's awesome. I don't like huge shields, but that one's pretty cool. So you can get all of Havel's stuff down here, and an occult club, and the Dragon Tooth. You just have to hit that fireplace. Dragon Tooth, created from an everlasting dragon tooth. Legendary great hammer of Havel the Rock. The Dragon Tooth will never break, as it is harder than stone, and it grants its wielder resistance to magic and flame. So that's the cool thing about this Dragon Tooth. It's a really cool big club. Does a bunch of damage. It has a lot of durability, so it almost never breaks. It has like 999 durability, and it has magic resistance on it when you equip it. A simple wooden club. It says simple again. A simple wooden club. This simple, bladeless strike weapon is effective against most foes. It is easily handled and can break the guard of a shield. However, a single miss makes one wide open, so timing is important. Helm worn by Havel the Rock's warriors, carved from solid rock. Its tremendous weight is matched only by the defense it provides. Havel's warriors never flinched nor retreated from battle. Those unfortunate enough to face them are inevitably beaten to a pulp. This armor is really good for specific situations, like when I mentioned I was fighting the 4 kings on my SL1. You put on this armor, you can barely move, but you also put on like iron flesh, and they can't even hurt you at all. And then you just blow them up with pyromancy. It wasn't working quite right, but it's a strategy. Havel's armor, iron flesh, plus pyromancy equals like awesome. You can just stand there, let them hit you. It doesn't do a lot of damage, and you can just burn them up with fire and use iron flesh, which also helps with your defense. So that will turn something that takes away like 3 bars a hit into like a half a bar a hit. So you got plenty of hits, and you're just trading blows. But right here is where you can jump off, and there's a shortcut right here. You have to use the stairs, like the height of the stairs. You turn around, and you run and jump over the side of the stairs. Like, you use the height of the stairs to jump over to the side of the stairs. Hopefully that description was good enough, because I didn't show it in this video for whatever reason. But I'm sure if we die to the boss, I'll definitely show it. I don't want to show it right now because you can't get back from it. If you do the shortcut, you're doing the shortcut. You can't come back from it. But here's another mimic. I know I keep killing them without showing you how cool they are, but I'm about to show you how cool they are. I'm going to let one survive to do its kung fu for us. Silver coin. Coin made of silver with a portrait of the legendary Night King Rendal on its face. Even coins of great value in the world of men have little value in Lordran, where the accepted currency is souls. Those who dream of returning to the outside world are fond of carrying these around. You can't really do anything with these coins except for, I think, trade them with Snuggly the Crow or whatever. Coin made of copper. Its face shows Old Man McLoif, god of medicine and drink. And the rest of the coin description says the same thing. Here's another mimic. I'm going to let this one live so you can see how cool they are, because I've killed everyone before it could do anything so far. I'm going to get them down pretty good, though. Check them out. Ooh, Kung Fu. The worst move he does is the grab move, because he can kill you in like one hit if he grabs you. Watch this, though. Not this. I want to see his other kick. His other kick's pretty funny. They're both funny, but watch this. Woo! And then the grab move. Here comes the grab. If you get that, you're dead. And he's dead. We got to see all of his moves, I think. His jumping spin kick. His front kick to the face. And his grab move. All his signature moves. This guy is just down here hanging out by himself. I don't know what he's doing, but might as well kill him so he don't hit you with the Dragonslayer arrow while you're trying to figure out where you're going in this place. The best thing to do is just work your way from the bottom to the top of the building, opening doors as you go, checking if they're locked or not. And just make sure you check every door before you head up the stairs. Then get off on the next level, check every door before you head up again, you know? Because eventually you have to open a door on like the second level to get back down to the first level to get back up to like the roof or something, you know what I mean? Like you're gonna have to go from level to level opening different doors to unlock other doors, like to get them from the other side. So as you see there's a door locked there. We're gonna have to like go up to the roof, drop down into another room, come out of that, and then we'll come to that door on the other side, open it up, and then that'll start opening up the whole building. There's a lot of doors that can't be opened from this side, you know what I mean? So you come at them from a different angle. Like we haven't been in that room yet down there, but it's on the first floor because the door was locked. So we gotta somehow get through that, get to that. So you probably have to come back in from the second floor. I don't know. Tried to parry. These guys are usually really easy to parry, and I was having trouble. This guy's another one that not much going on in here, except for you can shoot down at the prowling demon if you do it in a very specific spot. And it's another really boring thing where I'm just shooting bow and arrow for an hour, so I'm not going to do it for too long, but I just want to show you that proof of concept here. It seems like you can't hit them. First of all, it's hard to find the exact spot to shoot through the banister, because most of the time your arrow will stop like it hit the banister. So you got to find the exact sweet spot, like right in the middle of the hole there. You can't shoot over the banister. You can't shoot too close to any of the little pillars. You have to be like right in the middle, and you have to be a certain distance away from it too. You can't be too close, you can't be too far. You can't be too far to the left, too far to the right. You can't shoot over it, you got to shoot between it. And then you got to figure out, how can I hit this tail, which doesn't have a very big hitbox. So that's what I was trying to figure out. And the problem is you can't hit it over and over and over and over. You got to kind of wait in between your shots, because it's going behind that piece of furniture there. So the one excuse me, the one spot you can hit goes behind the piece of furniture, comes back out, goes behind the piece of furniture, comes back out, and it's not the same rhythm of your bow. So you kind of have to hold your shot, as I'll show here in a second, or you have to get a rhythm down, and it's not the exact rhythm of your bow. You gotta like hesitate. So I'm hesitating here. See, I didn't hesitate, missed. Didn't hesitate, missed. Got it there. Hold it. Got it. Hold it. Got it. So you gotta hold it, because it's not the exact, and there's no way you can get 2 hits. Like, it's 1 hit and that's it. And look how much damage it's doing. If you look at the very bottom of the screen, you can see the number popping up right there, 23. That's That's not a lot. You can see his whole health bar is barely touched. Like, that'll probably be one hit with my scythe after all those arrows. So you could switch to a large arrow, which will do a little bit more damage. Or if you happen to have like a lightning arrow, fire arrow, magic arrow, like one of those will probably do max damage, which will probably be like 50, but maybe even 70, but I think you need like a lightning arrow. No, they use lightning. And I don't think it's fire either. I think you gotta have like a magic arrow to kill these guys the quickest. And that's like, the quickest is like 70 damage or something, which would still take a bunch of arrows. And you can't poison them, and you can't use Dragonslayer arrows because you have to use a Dragonslayer bow to fire Dragonslayer arrows, and you have to have a certain amount of strength and dexterity to use the Dragonslayer bow. Like, you pretty much have to specifically set your stats up to use that thing. So the only thing I could do is use those large arrows over and over for 30 damage, and it would take forever, so I decided I'm not going to put you guys through that. We're at the end of the video anyway. I'm trying to do like 30 minutes from now on instead of an hour, just to make it more palatable, and also so I could try to do a Gems of War video also today. So I'm trying to fit in another video on the Dark Souls days. Like, I'm going to do Dark Souls. I'm going to cut it down to 30 minutes or less, and then add in like a really short Gems of War video, just so I have Gems of War every day, and I can keep doing Dark Souls. So the only other alternative was cut out Dark Souls, which I don't want to do, especially halfway through the playthrough. I'm definitely not doing that. So there's a 0% chance that's happening, unless somebody decides to give me a bunch of money to stop playing it or something. Like, I don't see how it would happen. But yeah, that's it. We're gonna stop here after I kill this guy and head up the stairs. So like, share, subscribe, and next time hopefully we get to the boss. I think we're really close. We just have to go over the roof, open a couple doors, and we'll be at the boss. Open the shortcut back to the beginning of the level, and that's it. So I'm gonna cut it here. Like, share, subscribe. I'll see y'all next time. We'll fight the boss, Ornstein and Smo. Peace.